You see, I keep telling y'all about Ronnie. I keep telling you about this man, about this menacing man, where he's sitting in the dark now with TVs off, and he's scaring poor Unique's baby mama. She's like, "Yo, why is he's sitting in the dark with the TV off?" And I'm telling y'all, something off about that man. All right, comment down below. What do you guys think that actually probably happened to Ronnie in prison? I'm thinking if he was always this crazy, then sure, but I'm thinking somebody probably spoofed his hoodie in prison.
Say you come in. I'm telling you what. I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way.
That's what I'm thinking. Cause when you seen in when they was at the club and Unique was trying to like hook him up with some of the some of the ladies, and he's just like, nah, I don't want to be touched. And then seeing how the guard, the security up front, he was basically telling him, he was just like, well, you can't come in because the way you looking. And I'm pretty sure everybody had that experience in their life or two, where you came in a certain way, and the guard looked at you and just like, nah, you can't get in because the way you dressed. And next thing you know, Ronnie was just like, you dead. And you see his eyes, you see the way he was looking at him. I'm like, yeah, he dead. He dead. But oh man, but all right, this episode was chill. It was chill. It wasn't really nothing much going on besides at the ending part where Marvin actually kills Sal, and I'm like, all right, because Stefano had a proposal for Rock. He was just telling her, he was like, well, we gotta have this discussion, because either you take out Sal, right, or we and the 5 families get together and we actually take you out and everybody that you care for. So Rock had no choice at the moment, because it was either Sal or another war, but this time it would be even a bigger war than it was previously with Sal. So I'm like, okay, right. I think there was one part in here that was actually funny to me because it was like, okay, when Rock was trying to like get back with Kanan, she was trying to like make amends with him, buying him cars now, and he's like, all right, what's going on with this cop situation? And he was like, oh, a cop killed himself. And he's like, that's how it is. It was just funny because he stopped the car, and then he just looked at her, and he was just like, so I guess cops killing themselves like Scrappy did, right? And I guess Scrappy did that too. That shit was kind of funny to me, because the way he said it and he was looking at her, I was kind of dying a little bit, because I was like, well, he's not stupid, because I'm like, you're kind of not really telling him the truth, because even though Rock kind of already knew what happened with Detective Burke. She already kind of had a suspicion of who actually did it, because it was no secret Howard did it, right? But it was just kind of funny in that moment when they had that dialogue where he's just like, all right, I'm kind of leaving. But I mean, we get to see like in the story where Kanan is actually trying to like start up his own hustle. He's trying to get things going, because he doesn't want to be involved with Rock anymore, and he's slowly starting to like move ahead into like progressing into the Kanan that we all know him to be, right? So I'm just like, okay, right? And then they had the whole eulogy or memorial, I should say, for Detective Burke, right? And Howard basically gets on the stand and he just explains his story, and then the captain basically talks to him and be like, well, you're getting on stage, you're talking. So he's trusting Howard so much, because he's just like, well, I want this whole case done. I want this shit over with. And that's when you see like Nadine, she's trying to talk to everybody. Like, listen, like Howard is dirty. He is dirty, and he's the one that actually got Shannon killed, or killed her, I should say. So she's the only one that is fighting for like Detective Burke. Like, she's the only one that's like fighting for it, while everybody's just like, nah, she was crazy, she was talking to girls and drugs and shit. He was just like, nah, she's not it, man. She ain't it, chief, let it go. But that's not going away anytime soon. And then you see how the feds is now involved, because they're like, come on, all these dead mob men, like all the like dead mafia in the street, they're like, something going on here. So I was thinking, like, remember when like Marvin and Lulu, like they was at the club? I thought that was like law enforcement. I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe it is, because they was like, oh, we're looking to buy drugs or whatever. So I'm like, and the way they were staring at Marvin, I'm like, it gave off cop vibes to me. First, I thought it was like maybe one of like Sal's guys, right, or maybe Stefano's guys. I was thinking like one of those two, but then I don't know. It just the way it just came off to me. It just I don't know. Maybe cop vibes or whatever. Because everybody's like doing their own investigation. Because again, they trying to figure out about the whole dead mafia in the street and. I feel like that situation it will probably like tie into everything that's going on because again like Nadine is seeing things and she's the only one that knows the truth about what happened. That Howard is kind of dirty. It's really Howard that everybody should be really looking at. But I mean Howard's been tasked with a very important role to like shut down the whole Shannon situation. So I'm just like okay, well we're gonna see on that. And I like how Rock was basically trying to, tell people, like she was trying to tell Stefano that she's out. She was basically trying to tell people that, she was no longer part of the game anymore. And she was basically out, right? And it's kind of crazy, too, because it was like Juliana's cousin. Well, no, Juliana herself, I should say. Yo, it's kind of crazy how she had a switch up. Because remember in the first season, she was getting her ass beat by her husband. Now all of a sudden, she like, nah, son, I want her dead, son. She's this fucking woman, and he trying to tell her, he like, listen, you need to be fearful of her, because I don't know about this. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, she was never like this. Like, what the hell? Now all of a sudden, she like, nah, man. Like, and it's kind of crazy, too, because it's just like, Rock knows Spanish now. So, all right. Also, too, comment down below. Do y'all think it only should have been Ghost learning Spanish? I mean, I understand, like, anybody can learn it. It's not too hard to learn, right? But I don't know. I kind of like her speaking it a little bit. I was just like, nah, I think she should have just kept with not knowing it. I think it should have been, like, for that episode alone, it should have just been, like, when they was talking at the table, I think it should have just been those two actually talking. She didn't understand it. Like, she probably, like, maybe understood, like, a little bit of it, but not fully. So I'm like, I don't know if I like her speaking Spanish. I'm like, that role was kind of for Ghost, So, I don't know. But overall, episode was kind of chill, Nothing too crazy, right? Except for the whole, Sal's death and all. And, I mean, the feds tried to warn Sal. It was just like, well, technically, there's somebody that actually wants you dead, right? The families want you dead. But he was, I wouldn't say he didn't believe it or anything, but it was just like, what could he do? He was kind of like handicapped and he was benched. And as Stefano told Rock in the beginning, he was just like, well, technically, there's a sanction of all of the bosses. Like, if you are part of anything, you can't basically kill another mob boss. You can't do that. That's I guess a rule, right? One of the rules that they don't do. So that's in hints as to why he needed Rock to take out Stefano. I mean, Rock to take out Sal. So I was just like, well, that kind of makes sense there. And so for Jukebox's story, it seems like she's still stuck in between lanes because seeing how like Nicole's father showed up and him and Marvin was having like that whole nice discussion, and he showed up and he gave her a number to call to basically have her, try to get back into singing or whatever. But she's still stuck because it's like she kind of wants to do the singing, but then she leaning on to trying to become military, but we know that shit ain't gonna happen. She's gonna become a full-fledged cop, and it's only a matter of time until, I don't know, something might actually lead into her decision on maybe wanting to become a cop, because it's like, as we seen, she was having plenty of freedom in the original Power of getting away with certain things and covering it up. So I mean, that's just gonna happen there, and the whole stare down she kind of had with Howard, because come on, she don't like him. So I'm just like, what you trying to tell us here, But yeah, man. But Ronnie, that motherfucker, man. He's oh, see, now I remember. So remember when Kanan came out of prison and he was getting sucked off by strippers and fucking all types of people? I just love how Ronnie just sitting there. He like, I ain't fucking nobody. I don't want to fuck nothing. That's that guard. He pissed me off though. I might kill his ass. I was just like, oh shit, Ronnie, no. But before I get out of here, right? The whole part about them talking about the cops that was falsely imprisoning other peoples and putting them and locking them up in jail, or locking them up in prison, I should say. The thing is, I kind of wonder, will any of Ronnie's peoples actually get out? Like, anybody that was like close with Ronnie, will they actually get out as well, right? And will they, Ronnie starts to like build up the team from there. I was kind of thinking that too, because every time, though, in the first beginning when he was looking at the news, and they talked about it here in this episode about like, I guess like cops that was falsely accusing people and putting them in prison and faking evidence and this and that. It's a little bit of an Easter egg to see what's going to actually happen into the future. But overall, again, this episode was pretty chill. But like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I catch you all in the next one.